I'm Amalie Brandenburg.
And I'm Dave Abrams. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll talk about what BGE is doing to shore up our power lines, and we talk to the face of the Severna Park Community Center. But first, making headlines this week. Well, Amalie, school's out for summer, which means we're getting ready for next year. Now is your chance to get involved in a fantastic program that pairs needy students with the supplies they need. You know what that means: backpacks, notebooks, pencils. Remember the Trapper Keeper?
I do.
Do they still have Trapper Keepers?
They do, but they're not allowed at my children's schools.
What is this world coming to?
I don't
What, are they
know,
dangerous?
But it's on my list of things that are not acceptable.
You can't have Trapper Keepers. Now here's the cool part. The county's Department of Social Services allows you to pair up with 4,500 students by adopting a student. You can shop for your student and deliver it to the school to make the first day of school even more exciting. The program is open to individuals, but also businesses, churches, schools, and community groups. And you don't have to do the shopping. You can also make a cash donation. It's easy to find out more. Just go to aacounty.org and click on the Back to School program spotlight. Do it today. By the way, this program has been around for 27 years.
That's
Tanya,
as old as me.
That's about the same age as you. Me too. I'm a little younger than that. Tanya Clement over at the Department of Social Services does a fantastic job with this program, so she'll take care of you. And I think we've finally reached the dog days of summer. Amalie, what do you think? It's hot. It's hazy.
Hot.
We're sweating all day. How was your 4th of July?
It was great. It was nice and relaxing.
Okay.
How was yours?
Oh, we're just going to go right to mine. You don't want to share with our viewers,
lacrosse.
The highlights?
Got Paul Rabel's signature. That's pretty amazing.
Paul Rabel, I don't know who that is.
Well, only one of the world's most amazing lacrosse players ever.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and you got pictures on your cell phone too, right?
Yes, I do.
You're very proud of this.
They are wonderful.
Yes. And who does he play for?
New York Lizards.
New York Lizards. Ooh, they sound scary. Lizards.
Bayhawks won. It was a really amazing game.
Oh, okay, cool.
Local team.
I'll have to check out the highlights on YouTube or something. My 4th of July was very good. We had, my neighborhood does it right. So I'll just say that there were many festivities in my neighborhood. I think I'll just leave it at that. And, of course, Monday was kind of rainy. So it was one of those, kind of hang out inside in the air conditioning, make a nice, take 2 hours to make dinner kind of thing.
What did you make for dinner?
Let's see, grilled salmon, salsa, guacamole, broccoli rabe.
Oh, that does sound amazing.
Broccoli rabe,
How was your lunch today?
Which was like Raby. I had the most amazing lunch today brought to me by a very special person who made homemade pot roast. I think it was you.
It was me.
It was delicious. Oh my gosh, I never get lunch that good. It was so good. Thank you. And now you're on the show. Welcome back to the show.
Well, thanks. I love being here.
Kristen's out on assignment,
I
so
know.
we decided to have you come in and fill that very important seat. So thank you for doing that. Welcome back.
Happy to be here.
Glad to have you.
We want to catch you up on the latest efforts by County Executive Steve Schuh to streamline and organize government. Schuh conducted a detailed review of all 84 standing executive orders and rescinded 64 that were unnecessary or outdated. The remaining 20 were combined, altered, or reissued. For example, there are multiple orders about who has signature authority for contracts and other documents that could be consolidated. One was to create an advisory board for the base realignment and closure process at Fort Meade, which is clearly outdated. So now these directives are much clearer and easier to follow. Some are reissued, such as guidelines for contractors who hire illegal aliens, creation of the Animal Welfare Council, and to create a liaison for the Americans with Disability Act. I understand that you are working on a similar project, Dave?
Yes. Well, this is, I know that was a very exciting story right there.
Amazing.
But I mean, the county executive is very organized and going methodically through everything you could think of in the government to make it consistent and standardized and, make sense. And the project that I'm working on right now is our boards and commissions. We have about 50. We have probably a little more than 50. And, they have different terms. They have, some meet more than others. Some have bylaws, some don't. So we're going through one by one, I think we've gotten through something like 16 as of today. So we're making great progress. But it's important to do these things.
It is important.
Because, it's going to help going forward. It's going to make the county government more organized and more efficient. And then, in the future, whoever's here doing the same job, they won't have to go through the same process. Right. So it seems kind of tedious, but we know that there's a reason for it, and it'll work out in the end.
I think it's very important work. I do.
It is. It's very important. And are you on any boards and commissions?
I am.
You are?
Yes, I am.
Which ones? Tell us a couple.
I am.
You're on the library board?
I am on the library board.
Yes.
And I'm a former Board of Education member.
Of course, yes.
That's pretty
Bow down.
amazing. Mm-hmm. Me and Andrew Prusky,
yes.
Councilman Prusky, managed to serve time together.
Right.
And off the top of my head, I believe those are the only two I can think of.
For now. We'll get you some more.
I'm good.
I think you could take a couple more on. Well, we have a new show on Arundel TV we want to tell you about. It's about Odenton Town Center and features an expert panel of people who have been working very hard on this project. They are Mary Burkholder from the county's Economic Development Corporation, Claire Lauder from the West County Chamber of Commerce, Mark Wildonger from the county's Office of Planning and Zoning, and George Karras with Stonebridge Development. Now, this is part of our Roundtable series, and it's the 4th episode. Previous episodes cover the heroin epidemic, the health of our waterways, and the Department of Aging and Disability programs. And you can watch the latest episode on our Arundel TV Facebook page, or head over to YouTube and search for Arundel TV.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will talk to Justin Mulcahy from BG&E. Take a look at our community calendar for events happening around town, and we'll be right back.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Welcome back to the show. Joining us in the studio today, Mr. Justin Mulcahy from BG&E. It's the 200th birthday of BG&E, and we're here to talk about that a little bit. Justin, thanks for being on the show today with us.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you back. You're a familiar face. Obviously, people have seen you before on the show. Tell us a little bit about your experience with Anne Arundel County and your new position at BGE.
So in Anne Arundel County, I was the public information officer for the police department for 7 years. I dealt with the media, and I'm in a similar capacity with BGE, external communications role. So dealing with the media and any also stakeholder issues, customer type of issues. For instance, in Anne Arundel County, if we have a project that's taking place, the customers need to be made aware of any concerns related to that that may make its way up, to say the county executive's office. We will distribute letters in advance to make citizens aware of those projects, or we refer to them as customers. I can't say citizens; that was a police department term.
So,
our customers.
So if anybody's power goes out, just call you, right?
Let's not do that. That's simplifying. We have a number for that.
That's not your role.
Okay. It's part of it. We put that number out, 877-778-2222. We want our customers to remember that as well.
Okay.
Well, BG&E, happy birthday, 200 years.
Thank you. Don't we look good for 200?
You look amazing for 200
you.
years. Can you tell me a little bit about the evolution?
So the cool thing is the first gaslight company in North America was formed right in Baltimore. And basically that was our predecessor, and then we became BGE. It all started with a guy named Rembrandt Peale, who was an innovator, quite frankly. He was trying to find a way to light his art museum in Baltimore. And he ultimately lit a ringlet, and the rest is history. And the first gas lamp was lit right there in Baltimore 200 years ago. So the bottom line is not many things are around 200 years. We're excited about it. We've been celebrating throughout the year. Some of it was through legacy gifts, so we're excited. And this is not coming from customer dollars. This is our parent company, Exelon shareholder dollars. We have really partnered with the Ripken Foundation to commit to a youth development ballpark in Baltimore. We sponsored fireworks as well in several locations, also some parades as well. So we're excited about it. As our CEO Calvin Butler likes to say, we want to be an innovation company that just happens to deliver energy. And he likes to say, the GE of the future, if you will, in terms of innovation. And we want to be like Nordstrom and Walt Disney when it comes to customer service, because they do it well.
We like all those companies. That's a good.
Oh, Walt Disney does it well.
Good triumvirate.
And customer service is key. As I mentioned earlier, if the customers are unhappy, that's not a good thing. So it's a priority for us to keep our customers informed and to make sure that we're working with our customers and our key stakeholders, such as the county executive's office, for instance.
And y'all do a very good job of that. And when we have weather emergencies, there's always been somebody here from BG&E in the emergency operations center. Mm-hmm. So we get real-time information. We have a shortcut to get out in the field. If there's a particular issue that needs to be taken care of for public safety or what have you. Tell us about, we've had some pretty good thunderstorms this summer and no major power outages that I can think of. What has BG&E done to try and avoid power outages in the summer months when you're having a lot of storms?
So we always do what we call our summer readiness plan. We start to prepare in advance. We ask our customers to do the same. We ultimately do storm drills. We invited the media to one of our storm drills this year. We test our systems, our communication, our procedures. It's something that BG takes very seriously. We're on weather calls, constantly monitoring the forecast. We invested $8 million just this year in specific electric distribution projects in terms of a new substation, a new feeder, new wires. So we're constantly making sure that we're ready for the summer. We ask our customers to do the same. We put out some information. We do that, but we always want to constantly remind, Anne Arundel County residents in this case, the numbers to call 877-778-2222. To report an outage, and not to assume that we're aware that there's an outage, because as many people have smart meters, over 2 million smart meters in our service territory. So folks might assume that we're aware that they're out, so we're asking those folks to call as well. And we also like to talk about doing a parallel preparation. So in other words, as we're preparing, you can start to prepare in the springtime and the early summertime as well. Getting bottled water, battery operated radios, extra set of batteries, things like that, canned goods, a can opener. Have your survival emergency kit ready. Check on your loved ones. Have a contingency plan in place if you have a loved one who has specific medical needs that might require electric equipment. And obviously check on your neighbors as well. And we always ask our customers to just remember the conditions that our workers are dealing with, whether it's a snowstorm or a thunderstorm. In many cases, remember the storm we just had a couple weeks ago where Howard County had a tornado touchdown. Mm-hmm. A lot of outages there. Fortunately, we got people back up pretty quickly. But our workers have to get through tree damage and debris, and that is a labor-intensive process before they can even start restoration. So obviously it's a frustrating situation if you're without power. We get that. But we also want folks to know that there are certain conditions that our workers face, obstructions in the community, high winds where they can't go up, so just be mindful of that.
Thank you. BG&E is very, very active in the community as well. I'm hoping you could share a couple of recent events with us.
Yes, so basically, I mentioned the 200th anniversary and some of the legacy gifts. So we've been partnering with Art with the Heart, a nonprofit organization, to have mosaics made and distributed throughout our service territory as part of our 200th anniversary. That's one of our legacy gifts. We've sponsored fireworks for 4th of July recently in several counties, and also some parades, and one we just had in Annapolis as well.
What are the mosaics?
So these are basically mosaics that we're working with this group, Art with a Heart, to make them, and as part of our 200th anniversary, they're going to be distributed throughout our service territory. So once those mosaics will go up, they'll go up in portions of our service territory. So we're proud of partnering with the community, and again, this is shareholder dollars, this is not customer dollars. We recently worked with the Baltimore Police Department to do some community outreach. They're working with Outward Bound. That's a group that is working to bridge the gap between police and the community. Those are important relationships that are being built right now. So as a company, we like to see ourselves as a community partner. Again, our CEO doesn't just view us as a utility. He views us as an innovative company, a company that's involved in the community. Dave, you mentioned we have a stake right here in Anne Arundel County in the EOC when there's a storm. So we believe that we play a part in the community. We have right here in Odenton the Piney Orchard Service Center. So we have a stake in Anne Arundel County. We have employees, of our 3,200 employees, we have a lot that live right here in Anne Arundel County. So that's the way we view ourselves. We're part of the community.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm going to give you a pop quiz.
Okay.
Tell me the top 3 recommendations you would give to an electricity customer on how to save on their electric bills. What are 3 things that you
Well,
should do
I
to
think,
prepare?
one, you need to start to look into some of the programs, the suite of programs, and this might actually cover all 3, but some of the programs that we have, like our peak rewards, do some research on that. Our Energy Savings Day. We've got a hot week right now. There could be an Energy Savings Day opportunity. So I would say go online and start looking at bge.com. Look at ways you can save energy. Look at some of the programs that we offer that you can sign up for that not only teach you how to save energy, but that you can get involved and take advantage of, like an Energy Savings Day, and get rebates on your bill. And there's small things that people
Budget
do.
billing, I think you have as well.
Yeah. We also offer assistance to folks who are struggling with their bills, but little small steps you can take. In the summertime, we always tell people keep your blinds closed. If you can, cut your air conditioner up 2, 3, 4 degrees. Some people can do it, some can't. Those are just some of the small things you can do. Something such as just grilling outside instead of cooking inside. So I encourage people to go online to bg.com, look at some of our energy efficiency programs, and also remember that you can text outages now to add outage. So we're trying to give people more avenues to report situations, whether it's through mobile devices and things of that nature.
And Amalie should not leave the TV on during the day for her dog Mabel while she's at work, right?
Absolutely not. We definitely don't want that.
I mean, is the dog really watching the TV?
If you can
anyway?
cut your
Have you
TVs
met
off.
Mabel?
Yeah, I think she does watch
Yeah,
TV.
she does.
But I get it though. I grew up with a neighbor. She had to take care of her pet. Did not like storms. So I
Mine
understand.
is fearless. We had her out with the fireworks. She didn't care, sniffing around. Everything was
Wow,
fantastic.
that's pretty good.
And
There's fearless and then there's oblivious. I think your dog is oblivious.
Oblivious
She
is
just
probably
doesn't
a better
know.
word.
All right, well, let's find a balance. Maybe one
Right.
TV on.
Okay, one TV, just one
One
small
extra
TV.
light.
Well, Justin, thank you for being on the show, and congratulations on 200 years of BGE. Hopefully, 200 more. And we'll have you on again, when we come into the next weather season. Was that hurricane season coming up
Yeah,
soon?
it's here.
We're in
Is
hurricane
it? We're in
season.
hurricane
Oh
season
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
We're ready. We're ready. Thanks for
can't
having
wait.
me.
Thank you for being here. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute, so don't go anywhere.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
You go and step out of the vehicle for me?
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Welcome back. His name is synonymous with the Severna Park Community Center, and now he's getting ready to retire. Our very own Pat Daly stopped by to visit with Newth Morris to reflect on his service to the community. Pat?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Newth Morris, currently Executive Director of the Severna Park Community Center, who's about to leave as Executive Director in about two or 3 weeks. And I just wanted to talk to him today about his experiences. He's done a lot, not only the Severna Park community, but the Anne Arundel County community overall, trying to help citizens with a number of different issues. Thanks for joining us, Newth. The first thing I want to ask you is, tell us a little bit about your experiences, when you were young.
Well, it's rather interesting. My grandparents moved here in the early 1940s, built a beautiful home on the Severn River off Sullivan's Cove. And my parents would drop me off for visiting with them for about 2 weeks every summer, from about then, as I could recall, back to about the late 1950s. So I had the opportunity to, during that time frame to see one of the few last freight trains go by. I remember the food liner that was on the corner now where Gardner and Papal is.
Okay.
Dawson's was just a single little store. This is before the post office was added to Dawson's. And of course, there was no Safeway, which is now the Champion Real Estate. So none of that was built. My grandmother would walk down there and they'd buy her groceries and everything, and then she'd get a taxi to take her back home with things. So we had the run of the neighborhood, and it was a lot of fun. Of course, we had our beach down in Old Severna Park, and we had a great time there.
Great. Tell us about your advocacy on behalf of the Severna Park Community Center. I know you've done a lot of work in the time that you've been here. Tell us a little bit about your work.
Well, this is interesting. I came out of manufacturing, and so this was kind of maybe a little unique, but I also had a long time in volunteering in various leadership roles in community organizations. I was on the Anne Arundel Community College Foundation Board as president there, president of our community association, the JCs, both local and state. So volunteering and working with people is something that came pretty naturally to me. So as a result, then this opportunity came around. I was given the opportunity to step forward and be executive director. Our initial focus was on basically trying to work on our accounts payables, getting our bills, collecting monies, things like that, the basic nuts and bolts of operating a business. We've got that settled down, and I think today we're doing a great job with that. And the role has evolved over time because now we're trying to work on our air quality system for our new pool to replace that. And we're very fortunate we had Senator Ed Riley and Delegate Mike Malone who helped us with two bills in the legislature this year. So that's come along really well. We work with our board to make sure we have an outreach to the community, which is, I think, the ultimate goal of where we want to go.
Okay. All right, great. One of the things that I noticed in my research was that you did a great deal about the B&A Trail in Severna Park. That's another example where you've given back to the community. Explain your experience with that.
Well, this was an interesting time. I mean, actually, the Severance School actually had a bill passed. It was one of the things with Governor Marvin Mandel. And so the follow-on to that was that the bill got passed. There was no funding for it, so nothing was going to happen. So I was involved in the Severna Park JCs at the time, and we had some meager funds. There's a Steve Kiplinger down at the Anne Arundel County Recreation Parks who kind of fronted us some tools and things like that to help us get started. Then my brother built what we called the Rail Rider. So it was two lawnmowers suspended from wheelbarrow rims that we could we could push down the middle of the tracks and cut the grass and stuff that was growing between the railroad tracks. And so you can imagine. So the idea on this, we knew we weren't going to build the trail. But our objective was to make it to the point where people could visualize a trail being there. A lot of folks thought that, well, if we put a trail in there, it'll be vandals, bad things will happen, and all that. And of course, as it turned out, now today we have trail front property. So the thinking has come around dramatically different, and obviously that's one of the great resources we have here in Anne Arundel County. And the great job that the county has done on that far exceeds what I ever thought it could be. So I salute the county execs who've worked hard to make that happen and the staff that does it. But it was really, we've actually built two bridges over, one over Round Bay and one over Jumper's Hole, so you could actually walk across those. So we really tried to get, and we put signs up so that people could start visualizing it as a path. And I think so that we ran a lot of the interference for the county, so when the bill came up to actually do it, there wasn't as much opposition. So a lot of times getting things in people's mind, getting them to see how things will turn out is a lot of it. So
Greatness only takes a small push, and that's certainly a great example of that. One more thing I'd like to ask, what are your future plans now that you're not going to be the Superman of the Severna Park Community Center?
My wife and Alice and I will be staying in the area for at least a couple of years, and I have a motorcycle that's got some dust on it that I need to blow off down the road. I've got a place that obviously my honey-do list is a little long at this point, and I think we hope to do some traveling and so we go out and see my kids in California and also locally here. So very good.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, a true example of somebody who's giving back to the Severna Park and Anne Arundel County community. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Pat. And thank you, Newth, for all of your hard work. I have a feeling he'll still be around, Dave, and we can look out for him on his motorcycle.
You think?
I hope.
So tell us a little bit about Newth. You've known him for a couple of years now, and you've seen him. You are a Severna Parkian. Is that how it's said, Severna Parkian?
Yes.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about Newth. You have the floor.
Well, thanks.
Yes.
So I met Newth when we were doing the Community Center Task Force report, where we took a look at both private and government-run community centers, and he was incredibly gracious and so lovely, and walked us through the facility, walked us through the financial issues, their fundraising, the different programs they offer, everything else.
They run a tight ship over there. They do a good job.
They do an amazing job.
It's a really nice facility, and also he helped us with the school board nominating commission.
Yes,
you know, we had our meetings
that's right.
there. He made sure we had our Wi-Fi. There was, all this, you have to do live streaming, and we had to figure that out. And people think you just snap your fingers, but Newth helped us make sure that everything worked properly, so we could do that.
And in typical school board nominating commission meetings, it did not go in the suggested allotted time. There was a significant amount of motions and banter and chat, and so we did not get out there till very late. He came back and locked up for us.
Very nice.
And he's
a nice
wonderful.
guy.
He is.
Maybe, I'd like to check out that motorcycle. It sounds pretty cool. I mean, he's not going to be able to stay away. Watch. He's not going to be able to. But he can try. We wish him the best of luck in doing that. So what we're going to do this week is we like to do shout outs. Okay?
Oh, good.
And today we're going to do shout outs. I'm going to shout it out, and you tell me what's going on, okay?
Okay.
All right. We got the Brandenburg, Eisenberg children, right?
4.
Okay. Paul, the oldest. Shout out to Paul. Go.
Oh, I love my Paulie. Yesterday was his birthday, and
Happy birthday, Paulie.
Yes, happy birthday to Paul. He was also.
Was he 18 now?
Feels like it, but no, 13.
13. That's a good age.
He was selected to play lacrosse against a team from England. I could not be more proud of that kid.
Wow. Are they called the Brexits?
Yes, they are.
All right. So how about Barrett Eisenberg Brandenburg? Shout out to Barrett. What's going on, Barrett?
Oh, sweet Barrett, my one girl. Thank goodness she saves me.
I know that must feel good to have a girl there.
Yes, wonderful girl. We just got the email today for her field hockey team this fall, and she got on the team that we wanted her to be on, and the team she wants to be on.
What team is that?
It's Midi A.
Midi A. Shout out to Midi A. Go Middies. Middies?
Well, that's the age group.
What are they? They have a.
It's part of Green Hornets. It's their age
Green
group,
Hornets,
and they
okay.
do different level teams.
Go Green Hornets. All right. Shout out to Bodie Eisenberg Brandenburg.
Love that kid.
What's happening with Bodie?
Shout
out Bodie.
Our chief of staff's favorite out of all of them.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, Diana adores Bodie.
Huh.
He's fantastic, and he's in dive, and he's diving very, very well.
What kind of dives are they doing? Well, how old is Bodie?
Bodie's 8.
What kind of dives are they doing?
He can do a 1.5 now.
Do they do cannonballs?
No.
No?
There's not cannonballs.
What about can openers?
No. Those are not allowed either.
No.
I mean, I guess you could do them, but
Can openers are fun.
I'm not going to score you very well on those.
Oh, that's right. You score it
I
as
do,
well.
I'm
So
a
how do you
judge.
avoid any favoritism?
Oh,
when
no,
you're
my
doing
kids
this?
get perfect 10s.
How does that happen? Oh. Because they're really good divers.
They are clearly the best.
All right, so last but not least, shout out to Tate Eisenberg Brandenburg.
Yes.
What's going on with Tate?
My sweet little pumpkin.
How old is Tate?
Tate is 4.
4, so he is not playing all county lacrosse right now.
No.
Not yet.
No, and maybe he will, maybe he won't.
And we've started his campaign for county executive in 2027.
Yes.
I didn't do the math. I don't know if there's actually an election that year.
No,
There isn't.
no.
28?
I don't know.
26?
32 maybe?
Something.
I don't know.
We're working on it
that'd be
though. We're getting the
wonderful.
flyers ready. Things are great with Tate.
Oh yeah, he's
Right?
great.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Because your last name is way too long.
It
That's
is
just
too
not
long.
going to
You
work.
cannot put that on any sign
It's going to
anywhere.
have to be great with Tate or something.
Great with Tate.
Right?
Yeah, I love it. Let's
we got
do it.
Okay, will you hire me?
It's certainly done.
Okay. I'm pretty good at it.
I know you are.
Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or Google Plus by simply searching for Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county, and we'll see you next time.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.